What's up, guys? Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 1 is finally here, and wow, this premiere gave us a lot to break down. We're gonna go through every big moment, explain that crazy ending, and of course dive into some theories about where this season could be heading. So strap in, because this one's packed with details you do not want to miss, and make sure you stick around till the end. Episode 1 begins right after the events of Season 1. Chris was sleeping at his home when All came and started waking him up. Chris got annoyed, while All was shivering from the cold outside. Chris looked out, then decided to use his father Augie's portal doll to stay safe from the cold. He put a coat over it and opened the portal. Chris and All stepped into the same room again, but inside that portal there were many different doors. Suddenly, from one of the doors, an alien entered and started burning his belongings. Chris tried to say hi to him, but the alien didn't respond. Chris got angry. Then he noticed that All had disappeared. When Chris moved forward, he saw All near another door, and around him were several Peacemaker helmets. Chris found this very strange. Out of curiosity, he tossed his coat on that door and opened it. The next moment, he stepped into another dimension, one that looked just like his own room. But soon, he discovered through newspaper clippings that in this dimension, his father Augie, his brother Keith, and he himself were superheroes together. The three of them were very famous, with thousands of awards for saving the world. There, Chris actually met his father Augie, who was talking to him nicely. Shocked and scared, Chris ran back through the door and returned to his own dimension. 6 months later, Chris stepped out of his home and met Lota, who took him out. Lota herself was upset because she had recently gone through a breakup. Chris told her maybe her habits didn't suit her partner, and reminded her that people close to them always feel scared when they take dangerous risks. Lota had started a new security business, and Chris found it strange that her business card had the picture of a thin girl on it. When Chris asked about Amelia, Lota explained that since losing her job, Amelia hadn't spoken properly to her. Chris asked if Amelia ever mentioned him, but Lota said no. Chris felt uneasy because metahumans were no longer respected much in the world. Lota tried to encourage him, reminding him that he had once saved the world, and surely the Justice Gang would accept him now. Chris realized he had to stop being treated like a joke and finally become a true superhero. Lota reassured him that they would accept him. As Chris moved forward, he saw a girl angrily leaving, clearly upset. Inside, Chris went to attend his Justice Gang interview, a team we had already seen earlier in the Superman movie. There he met Maxwell Lord, who explained that he funds the Justice Gang. Along with him were Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner. Chris started talking about himself, and they made him sit down. But then Max, along with Hawkgirl, started mocking Chris, saying he never makes decisions properly. What they didn't realize was that their mic was still on, and Chris could hear every word. Hurt, Chris sat quietly and explained that his aim is perfect. He can kill anyone with anything. He also described the powers of his different helmets. But Max responded, saying, the Justice Gang's mission is to save lives, not kill. And Chris had already been in prison for murder charges, not to mention killing many people afterward too. Chris admitted that sometimes he kills for peace, and that his childhood trauma shaped him this way. Still, Guy and Hawkgirl continued mocking him, not really listening. Chris then told them straight that he could hear all their private comments. When Max checked, he realized the mic button was broken. Guy laughed, but the audience outside had already heard them disrespecting superheroes. Chris, hurt and insulted, walked away. He got into the car with Lota and said he wished he could just kill those people he no longer wanted to join them. Lota drove him away. Meanwhile, Amelia had applied for jobs in many secret agencies, but she was rejected everywhere. Frustrated, she visited a therapist. The therapist told her that due to her past experiences, she had developed a kind of toxic masculinity, something usually seen in men. But in her case, it was because she suppressed her emotions. Enraged, Amelia cursed at the therapist, who then added this to her report. Furious, Amelia felt betrayed. She had always obeyed orders to save the world, but now, because of Amanda Waller's mistakes, she was the one suffering. She couldn't get work anywhere, despite being an excellent agent. A guard praised her work while escorting her out, but Amelia, full of anger, smashed her car from inside with her fists when she got in. Later, Chris came to meet her at home. Amelia explained about injuring her hand by hitting her car. Chris, angry, cursed at the car itself. Then the two of them went inside. Chris noticed Amelia was financially struggling. Amelia admitted that no agency wanted to hire her because of Amanda. Chris revealed that his own superhero interview had gone badly. Amelia asked why he had even come. Chris reminded her about the night they were partying on a boat and got close. Amelia said it was just a drunken mistake. Chris, however, was serious about it, but Amelia asked him to forget it. Furious, Chris stormed out. That night, Chris was deeply troubled. He began smoking, and at first, it felt like a wild party was happening in his home, but it was just his hallucination. Then he went to the portal door and opened it again. On the other side, John was working when he got a call from Adrian. Adrian constantly bothered him with calls, and this time he spoke about Ol, claiming he knew everything about him. John, unwilling but still talking because Adrian was his friend, listened. Adrian explained that after saving the world, Peacemaker probably expected to be seen as a hero, but when that didn't happen, he might be upset. John denied knowing anything, but Adrian had to hang up when his boss started insulting him. Before leaving, Adrian said goodbye. Just then, John picked up some strange signals at Argus. Sasha also noticed these signals and informed John to check nearby. John armed himself and headed to Chris's house. Meanwhile, Rick saw on the news that meta-human attacks were increasing. Sasha came and told Rick that strange signals were coming from Chris's house, signals similar to those from Lex Luthor's other dimension experiments. She also said she sent John to investigate, since he had worked with Chris before. When John entered, he saw Chris's house full of hallucinated party people. Rick also spoke with him during this. John then noticed Chris standing near the portal. He secretly clicked Chris's photo, but didn't tell Rick. Suspicious, Rick assigned another agent to secretly follow John too, since he didn't fully trust him. For Rick, this case was personal. He hated Peacemaker because Peacemaker had killed his son, Rick Flag Jr., in the Suicide Squad movie. Meanwhile, Chris stepped into the portal again, entering the perfect dimension where his family lived happily as heroes. He saw articles, a big house, and even met his brother Keith, who was alive there. Shocked, Chris hugged him. Keith thought Chris had been away on a mission. Then, Augie arrived, warmly inviting both sons inside. The three of them drank together, sharing memories of childhood. Chris, emotional, kept thinking how much better his life could have been. Meanwhile, Amelia walked into a club where everyone stared at her. She ordered a drink, but a thug harassed her. Furious, Amelia cursed him loudly. The thug threatened her, but she fought back and beat him brutally. Soon, more goons attacked her. She fought like a beast, but being alone, she was eventually overwhelmed and beaten badly. They threw her outside the club. Back in the alternate dimension, Augie told Chris he loved him before going to bed. Keith asked Chris about his girlfriend, which surprised him. Keith revealed that Chris's girlfriend now had a new boyfriend, but suggested Chris could still win her back. Before leaving, Chris told Keith, "I love you," making Keith very happy. Chris grew emotional. Meanwhile, John met with Lota, showing her Chris's portal photo. Lota knew nothing about it. John explained that Rick Flag was after Chris, seeking revenge for his son's death. Rick had 24/7 surveillance on Chris, and Sasha had already detected dimension signals from his house. That's why John needed Lota's help. She agreed to talk to Chris. On the other side, Chris kept looking at childhood photos and discovered that in this dimension, his girlfriend was none other than Amelia. Suddenly, that world's Peacemaker arrived and attacked him. Chris tried to explain that the Peacemaker was about to kill him. Chris pushed him, ran toward the portal, but the other Peacemaker slashed and injured him. The two fought inside the portal, battling fiercely. The alternate Peacemaker brutally beat Chris and nearly killed him. But Chris, using his voice command, activated the rocket in his opponent's suit, sending him flying into a chandelier. The blades pierced through the Peacemaker's chest, killing him instantly. His body dropped to the floor. Now Chris was trapped in the portal with the other Peacemaker's corpse. And with this, the epic episode 1 ends right here. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel. And remember, my target is 1,000 likes on this video. You guys have to make it happen no matter what.